Thank you all for attending this Munch and Learn Q&A session. I'd like to introduce you to our speaker for today, who's Shelley Audis-Riddell, who is Head Pet Behaviourist and Dog Trainer for Breakthrough Behavioural Products, who are one of our lovely Munch and Learn event gold sponsors. Shelley is kindly going to provide us with an overview of Breakthrough and then answer some of the questions that delegates have sent in. So all over to you, Shelley.
Thank you, Lisa. Just to start off with a kind of brief overview of Breakthrough. So Breakthrough is a complete dry dog food, and it has been formulated by a lady called Val Strong, who is a behaviourist and has worked closely with focusing on diet and behaviour and the relationship with between diet and behaviour. Breakthrough has come from Val's kind of homemade diet, which is either Val's diet or serotonin diet, and this is it requires a lot of hands-on with the owner, and it's not very practical for day-to-day life to feed it with your dog. So we've worked with Val, Breakthrough, and our sister company, Oscar Pet Foods, to formulate Val's serotonin diet into a complete dry food that still gives the dogs the kind of behavioural effect of feeding Val's serotonin diet. And Breakthrough helps to elevate and stabilise key neurotransmitters such as serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline, which can be affected when dogs are going through periods of stress and anxiety, or just kind of stressful times during day-to-day life. For example, us all kind of living in, coming out of lockdown and getting back into normal life, that has had a large effect on a number of dogs and cats and their kind of behaviour. So Breakthrough is here to help support learning, because it helps to elevate it helps to elevate mood because it helps with the serotonin, and also helps to support learning as well. And when you're working through behavioural therapy, the two go together. So I'm here, as Lisa has explained, to answer some questions. We've had some questions submitted, which are fantastic. So I'm going to go through these, and hopefully they'll help to answer what you've asked. So the first one is, do you have any published or peer-reviewed papers that you can share? So I'm just going to share my screen so I can just show you on our website that we do have a number of articles that you can view. And one of the ways to click on that is go through to our veterinary resource tab and click onto resources and tools, and it'll bring you to this particular page. If you scroll down, we have, as you'll see, a number of downloads. And what I would really like to highlight your attention to is the Breakthrough research downloads. So when we first started to formulate Breakthrough, we had a study called the proof of concept. The data isn't particularly on this page, but I can put a link to it on our portal page, so you can have access to it. And we worked with a number of behaviourists at that point to research and to kind of study whether feeding Breakthrough alone helped to elevate mood and support behaviour and learning. And the study showed that dogs fed on Breakthrough, we saw an improvement in their behaviour and a reduction in stress. So we have that kind of initial proof of concept. Then the two research downloads that are available on the website. We had, in 2017, we worked with Wood Green Animal Charity, and we worked with Wood Green and the dogs that were in kennels to see how feeding Breakthrough helped to reduce stress levels within kennels. And if you do have a read of the article, you'll see how, as graphs and our data showed, that after feeding Breakthrough and having kind of the going for the initial kind of changeover, that stress levels reduced in dogs, but also reactivity kind of times reduced as well. So it's showing the benefits of Breakthrough. And the other article, which we worked with a well-known rescue centre, this was from 2020, and again was looking at how Breakthrough would help to support reduction in stress levels in dogs. It was a double-blind study, and we did have other sample groups to compare our data against. I will be talking about it in more detail on the Brunch and Learn Day. But if you want to have a read about those 2 studies, they are available on our website. We do have some publications. So we have something in the Vet Nurse Times, Veterinary Practice Today. And if you scroll a bit further down to our website, we've also done some publications in the Veterinary Edge magazine. I hope that answers your questions. If you want any more details, or if you read the studies and you want to have a chat in more detail, then we're available to kind of ask any questions. So the second question is, what other amino acids apart from serotonin are included within the diet, and how are these amino acids used by the body to have an effect on neurotransmitters within the brain? So just start with the first question. So how Breakthrough works is the 2 key amino acids are tryptophan and tyrosine. And tryptophan is a precursor, so it helps to make serotonin in the brain, and tyrosine is a precursor, so it helps to make noradrenaline and dopamine in the brain. And it's really important that those amino acids reach the blood-brain barrier at a high enough rate to kind of produce the right levels of serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline. There's a lot more detail that I can go into, which I'll talk about in my talk on Brunch and Learn. But that's kind of a brief overview. And these amino acids are used within the brain to, once they've reached over the blood-brain barrier into the brain, then they are converted into serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline. And how Breakthrough works differently to other calming diets is it helps for those key amino acids to reach the brain at a lot of a higher rate. So it helps to produce more kind of behavioural support. So our third question is, are there any contradictions with the diet? And the second part to that question are there any common ingredients that should be avoided when feeding Breakthrough? So the great thing about Breakthrough is it works alongside other kind of therapeutic methods. So Carmical, your nutricals, pheromones, things that may be suggested in practice to help reduce any stress and improve the dog's kind of mood and emotion. Breakthrough is a package where it helps to stabilize mood, like many calming products, and works alongside calming products. But the extra kind of part to Breakthrough is it puts the dog in the correct learning kind of phase, so that you can work with behavioural therapy, and it will help to promote learning, helps to lift the dog's mood, and also raising dopamine levels means that the dog's going to be in a better state of mind to enjoy rewards. If dopamine levels aren't at the right kind of level within the brain, then it's not going to enjoy rewards, walkies, playing with toys, enjoying time with their owners. And a bit like us as humans is when we're not feeling too great, we may not want to do the things that we enjoy doing, like going to the gym, buying new clothes, shoes, going out with friends, because our brain chemistry is not at the right kind of levels to be able to support that kind of opportunity. So it's really about how Breakthrough can work alongside behavioural therapy as well as other calming products that are available on the market. There aren't any common ingredients that need to be avoided. They do all work alongside Breakthrough, but if we had any questions, we do have a helpline team, and we're always happy to answer any questions and speak to Val and our other experts if it's going into a bit more detail about certain calming products. Then the next question is there a recommended age to start using Breakthrough from? Again, a really good question. So Breakthrough is a complete adult food. So it's it's designed for dogs that have reached maturity and are ready to move on to an adult food. We regularly get questions about using Breakthrough for younger dogs, and as I'm sure you will all be aware, is a puppy or a junior dog going through adolescence doesn't necessarily have a behavioural problem. It's reviewing that dog's training, kind of lifestyle, to see whether actually the dog's receiving the right kind of exercise, stimulation, receiving the right training, looking at the relationship between the dog and the owner. So we regularly do get questions about the food being appropriate for younger dogs. And if a younger dog needs to go on breakthrough, we would really recommend that we have a good assessment of the dog's lifestyle and kind of background to make sure that there isn't some kind of training need that just needs tweaking because it's a young dog, i.e. a puppy, and that we can work in it that way. For adult dogs, it's a complete food. The key to breakthrough is that it is ideally fed just breakthrough alone alongside our treats, which are progress training treats, and they're designed to complement the food. If we have owners adding wet food, bit of chicken, any extras to their diet, they're going to affect the efficiency of the diet, so they're not going to see the full behavioural results of breakthrough. And also we don't want people to be spending their money on breakthrough and not getting the money's worth of what the diet will do. So it is a recommendation of feeding breakthrough along the progress treats. You can take some of their breakthrough meal out of their daily rations and use it as rewards. I do that with my dog. So there's lots of different workarounds. And then the final question is, are there any long-term effects to look out for when feeding breakthrough for long periods of time due to the calming amino acids? So there is no kind of long-term effects to look out for. Breakthrough, we recommend breakthrough to be fed for a minimum of 6 months. Now, as we know, every dog's individual, and what they are going through and their experience and the history of the behavioural problem is down to the individual dog. So we may find that some dogs don't need to be fed on breakthrough for that period of time. Some dogs may need longer, and also it's the owner's choice. We find that breakthrough can have such a positive effect on the dog as well as the owner's life that people don't want to come off the diet, and that is perfectly fine to feed. Breakthrough is working with kind of natural and normal ingredients that we find in all pet foods. It's just about how we understand about how the science of ingredients work within the body, and how we formulated breakthrough to help elevate those key neurotransmitters within the brain. We are due to launch a follow-on diet for breakthrough, which is going to be available in the next few months. And that's something that when someone's got to the point of being happy where the dog has reached to in terms of behavioural therapy and what they're doing, what training they're doing with their dog, then they can move on to follow up as a kind of a follow-on diet to breakthrough. What I would recommend is when you're feeding breakthrough is recommend clients are assessing their dogs. Well, we know when you're in something every day, it's sometimes hard to see the progress that you've made. And on our website, we have a progress chart, which we advise owners to assess at the beginning and before they start changing on to breakthrough. And then every week they rate out of a 10 scale, 1 to 10 scale of how their dog's behaviour is. And that's a guide for owners to see the improvements. If you're working with a dog and you're seeing them weekly or monthly and you're doing one-to-ones, then obviously you've got a really good overview of seeing how the dog's progressing. But we do really encourage owners to take part of that as well, so they've got some kind of history to see what's going on. So thank you very much. Those are the questions that we've been asked. I don't know if there's any more questions.
Shelley, I've got a request actually. Can you, because your website looked fantastic and there looked an awful lot of information on there. Can you just share your screen and just talk us through any really hot areas of the site that you think might be of interest?
Yeah, of course I can, yes. So I'll just start on our main page. So we've got different areas to the site. We understand that we've got customers as well as professionals. So on our homepage, we have Discover Breakthrough, which is designed more for pet owners to go and have a look on. We've got lots of video content, which I'll show you in a moment, that goes into detail about breakthrough. And then professional resources and veterinary resources. Professional resources is set up for dog trainers, rescue centres. The page is more designed around that particular pet area of the industry. And then we've got our veterinary resource page. which I'll click on in a moment, but I'll just show you further down. One of the things I will highlight is we have a 3-step process, and it will be changing to a 6-step process once our follow-up diet is launched. But for breakthrough, we really want to get across that you've got to observe there's a problem, and sometimes when you're in it, or sometimes we might be in a bit of denial that we have a behavioural problem with our dogs. But the first thing to the success of breakthrough with your dog is observing that your dog has a problem and that they need some support. Then obviously there's feed. Obviously we're going to feed breakthrough. The great thing about breakthrough is we do have a money back guarantee if the client's dog isn't eating the food. It isn't the guarantee isn't on if the dog doesn't have an improvement in its behaviour, because there's too many factors for us to be able to kind of assess that. But if the dog isn't eating the food, then we do offer a 28-day money back guarantee. And then from feed there is progress, and this kind of links to the last question, is making sure that you observe and you can see the progression with your dog with the training that you're doing with behavioural therapy alongside a behaviourist or a dog trainer, and with breakthrough as well. I will just go to the veterinary resource page. So on here, we've just got information about kind of the impact, and it is very much, we know that the dog population and the cat population has grown massively since the pandemic, and probably a lot of us were aware that when we all came out the other side of the pandemic and that there was going to be a lot of welfare and behavioural issues with pets. So this goes into a little bit of detail, linking to the PDSA report, and about the kind of troubles and the stresses that we understand that veterinary practices are going through, and how breakthrough can help veterinary practices as well as pet owners with breakthrough. We do have a breakthrough ambassador program, which has been set up for pet professionals to work alongside breakthrough. We do offer a referral scheme, so breakthrough ambassadors can earn commission on bags of breakthrough and progress treats that have been bought using a breakthrough code. And you can either have that commission kind of going back into the business, or you can donate it to charity, because we really feel that commission is very much a personal choice. And we also offer for businesses to be able to actually give that discount back to customers as well. The commission earned on each bag is £20, so it is substantial, and we want to make sure that how you choose to use that commission is down to your personal choice. So you can either have it to put back into the business, it can be donated to charity, or you can actually give your customer a discount code and allow it to have it off their food as well. So please do have a good read on there. Then we have some resources for customers. So the main thing is, because we really want to, people really need to understand how to feed breakthrough, is our how to use breakthrough. So we have a short video talking through the 3-step process, and then at the bottom we go into it in a bit more detail. I'll just click on the feed section. So you do feed breakthrough like you would do any other dry food. We advised a 7-day changeover, and it's really important that you feed morning and evening, and you have 2 set meals to make sure that you maintain the correct blood sugar level, and that there's just a balance of kind of feeding and nutrients within the body. So it does go into detail about how to feed it. And then with train, when I spoke about earlier, is our I'll just download this, that has the mindful nutritional for optimal behaviour. the link down below will open it, but you can see that it has before, so the owner scores the dog's behaviour out of 1 to 10, and then for the first 4 weeks, and I would strongly recommend that you go further and you download another sheet, but for each week you recommend you put a score out of 1 to 10 about how you feel your dog's behaviour's been. So that is that. We've got dietary information and meeting the breakthrough team. So if you want to learn a bit more about the breakthrough team, it isn't just myself. We've got a range of experts that make our breakthrough team. And so we have Val Strong, who is the founder of Breakthrough. We have Ross Tiffin, who's very experienced in the veterinary world and this area of product and kind of veterinary industry. Then we've got our veterinary expert Vicky Payne and myself, and then our nutritional expert who is Shelley Simmons, and then we have some ambassadors, Sarah Fisher, who's a breakthrough ambassador, and then our sister company Oscar Pet Foods. And then we work very, very closely with Wood Green's animal charity. We actually feed some of them kind of more serious dogs that can't be rehomed due to the severity of the behavioural problems. What I would also recommend is have a really good look at our resource and tools section, which I've already highlighted earlier before. There's lots of downloads. Our Dog's Dinner by Val Strong is a book that Val wrote back in the 90s. It's out of publication now, but it is actually there for you to download as a PDF. And I used to use that an awful lot when I was seeing clients one-to-one. It also, in Val's PDF, it actually talks about the homemade version. So if you have a dog that has allergies or isn't, the diet isn't particularly the breakthrough diet isn't particularly suitable, then the details of how to make the homemade version is there, and we would strongly recommend to use that as an alternative. And at the bottom of here there is some videos. So it's Val talking about the science behind breakthrough, and then Vicky Payne talking about how she uses breakthrough within a veterinary practice. And then the last page that I'd like to highlight to you is our articles, like blog area. We have a really good kind of library of documents, and I would strongly recommend to have a look. They've been designed some more at kind of expert level, and also some designed to offer advice for pet owners. So there's a mixture of advice on there, but I would strongly recommend to have a look on there. And if you have any suggestions of articles that we can write, then please let us know. Well, thank you very much, Lisa. I hope that helps.
Shelley, that was absolutely awesome. Thank you very much for talking us through that. I've actually got one final question based on listening to you talking us through the website, is that if our delegates are watching this and go online and look at all the information and still have questions, what's the best way to contact you? Or who is the best person to contact, and how do they contact you?
Thank you. So you can go on our contact us page. So you can submit an inquiry through our contact us page, and it'll come through to myself or my colleague Shelley Simmons. So any questions that you have, we're always here to help. You can submit a question, or alternatively, we've got our free phone number, which is 0808 168 3344. And we're available Monday to Friday, 8:30 till 5 p.m. and on Friday we just shut at 4:30. Or you can find us on social media. Breakthrough Dog is on Facebook, and again, if you would like to submit a question via Facebook, then we'd be more than happy to have a chat. If anyone would want a face-to-face, we're more than happy to do online chats, and we do offer lunch and learn sessions if people are wanting to find out a little bit more and want to get either the veterinary practice together or a team together. We're more than happy to chat online.
That is brilliant. Thank you very much.